Go.
Okay. Hi, I'm Autumn Smith, and I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, and my student voice is important because we get to speak our minds on social issues. This project is about best and best incarceration. Mm, Oh, um, okay. So my first question is for Antonio.
No. Remember, you're gonna say, panel, can you introduce yourself?
Oh, panel, can you introduce yourself? Just like that.
Hello, my name is Antonio Johnson, and my voice is important because to this issue, it has a big impact in my voice.
My name is Brianna, and my voice is important because they have to choose and show teammates in a different way.
Hello, my name is Reese Beard, and my voice is important because this issue directly affects me.
Hello, my name is Walter Grove, and this issue affects me because I am a young, white teenager growing up in the city.
Okay, okay, now my first question is for you, Antonio. As a young adult, what do you think are some ways communities can keep keep teens from drugs and crime?
Oh, I think by giving teens jobs and that pays well and putting them in programs that will keep them away from the streets so they wouldn't have to be selling drugs or doing bad crimes.
Thank you. That was good. Brianna, how does drugs impact our community?
Drugs impact our community by tons of ways. One of the ways is that teenagers nowadays see adults doing it, and they start thinking it's a good idea for them to do it. So they start doing it because either they're having a hard time going through life, or because someone they love or someone they knew a long time ago has now passed. So I think drugs is the best way to actually figure out what's going on in your life and the best way to make money to help you out.
Walter, do you think we can stop the war on drugs?
Yes, but it will take time because everything that affects people in a good way takes time. And yeah, so overall, we can stop the war on drugs. It all depends on how much effort we put in as an individual to help our fellow people.
Thank you, Walter. Reese, what is your solution to the school to prison pipeline?
Well, my solution was more like mentorship programs that'll help children who are like falling behind and like help them keep them up on their grades, and also more funding so teachers don't have to do more with less.
Thank you, Walter. I'm not Walter. Walter. Thank you, Reese. Okay, that's it. I'm done.
So now, why don't you,
Oh wait. I'm not done. I'm sorry. I'm not done. I have to ask the audience some
Before that, ask, so why don't you share your problem and
Oh,
solution? What did you
my,
research?
Okay, so my problem was the school to prison pipeline too, but my solution was that we could have like a program where kids 18 to 12-year-olds can like go. It's like a community center. Well, not a community center. I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, okay. So what I was saying was we could have them like go to like a jail, and then like, but not like just right off the bat. I'm talking like if they have like a record, or if they have a record, or like they're about to be suspended for something that's like really bad, or like even before that, like okay, so if the teacher sees something like wrong with the kid, like they can just like notify somebody, and they will notify me, and then like we can like take them to like the prison, and then like they will stay there until like I guess till they get their act together, or they will stay there at like, okay, I don't know. I keep saying like I'm just like really nervous. But yeah. So like they will stay there until they get their act together, or until they learn from their mistakes, because like that's one thing that they need to learn from their mistakes.
Okay, and why doesn't everyone in the panel say their solution, like what they wrote about in their project?
Well, my problem was the war on drugs, and my solution was a shorter minimum time in jail and a longer time in rehab, because the people who do drugs are not exactly the criminal, but and like they do something wrong, but it's not like, they don't kill somebody, and if they did, they would have a longer time, but it's because they messed up somehow. So if they get rehabbed and find a way to solve that problem, they could get back on their feet and go back into society.
Okay, so my problem, it was the school to prison pipeline, and my solution was like various mentorship programs that will help children who are like falling behind, have mentors who would help them like be accountable for their grades, helping them set goals for the future, and then more funding for schools so that, like I said, teachers don't have to do more with less and can actually like, I don't know how to say it. I guess because like they don't have to like work that much harder in order to like keep everybody like grades up and like keep students from like moving forward.
You go. Oh, you gonna go? I can go. Well, I already said mine, so I'm just gonna let Brianna see hers.
Okay. My problem was teenagers on drugs, and my solution for this is to gather people who actually been through this problem before and get them to at least talk to teenagers who is doing this problem. Talk to them how they can work through it and what can they do to pass up this big problem above their heads, so that they know there's another way. It doesn't have to turn to violence. And a way they can do that is by actually coming in someplace that we're gonna try to get set up, so they can feel safe and no worries, no one to judge them or encounter them with any threats.
Alright, the problem I did was racial profiling in schools, and my solution was getting the government to put cameras in schools so they could see how the teachers and the student act towards each other.
Okay. Okay, so does the audience have any questions? Okay.
Okay, so Autumn, for your problem and solution, or with your program that you wanted to do, I think there's already one for that. It's like they have a TV show based on it. It's called Beyond Scared Straight.
Thank you.
So maybe you wanna bring it to.
Yeah, I can fix it, my program around. Okay. Kiki.
My question is for Autumn about your solution also. How, like, if your program is supposed to help like mass incarceration, how putting people in prison for a certain amount of time because of behavior, how is that gonna help decrease mass incarceration if you're just gonna be putting people in prison for their behavior? That's just adding more people in prisons.
See, that's the thing. But they won't. They won't be like staying there. Well, they will. But my issue is not mass incarceration. My issue is school to prison pipeline. But like, I get what you mean, cause I get what you mean. But like, I'm just trying to make sure they know like not to do this, cause they don't want to end up there. They don't want to end up there. So I'm like trying to tell them like you don't want to end up there, cause if you do, you're just gonna be there. Okay.
So my question is for Walter. About how they should spend less time in jail. How much time do you think people that get arrested for drug abuse should spend in jail?
It all depends on how serious or like how large the crime is or the offense. Because for like somebody who actually had drugs on their person, it would be a totally different time than like selling. So the person who has drugs on them that's not selling would have probably a few months. But the more serious crime would be like selling or like making the drugs and stuff. That'd be like a year or something.
Oh, you.
Alright, Brianna, my question for you. You said that your program is to help teens get off of drugs or whatever, something like that. Are you only focused on teens, or are you focused on everyone?
My main focus is basically on teens because sometimes adults in their position now, they technically put themselves there, but if they want a better future for themselves and for their teenagers, they can help them out and get themselves off drugs. But right now, the only thing I touch to threaten the world are the teens nowadays. So what teenagers do is what's really going to be the future unless they change it up.
Any more questions?
Remember, one of your grades asking. Alright. Alright, good
Okay.
job.